What did the Soviets see on the moon? When two silver ramps folded down onto the moon's surface on November the 17th, 1970, and an 8-wheeled robot slowly rolled into the dust of Mare Imbrium, the world had no idea that history was being made. While the US sent its astronauts to the moon, the Soviet Union chose a different path and discovered things that still fascinate us today.
What exactly did the Soviet rovers see on the moon? We're going to take a look at the little-known original footage from the lunar surface, so make sure to stick around until the end. A warm welcome to you all.
The race to the moon. We all know the story, Neil Armstrong, Apollo 11, one small step for man. But what many people don't know is that while the Americans were planting flags and leaving footprints, the Soviets were conquering the moon in a completely different way. Write me a comment if you were already around at the time and witnessed the space race in the 60s and 70s. I would be very interested to hear from you. And if you're as fascinated by these fascinating stories from space travel as I am, then subscribe now. It's free. You'll never miss a video again, and you'll be helping me enormously.
If you've already subscribed, giving the video a thumbs up really helps. 5,000 likes is the magic threshold for the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much, everyone. So now let's talk about the Soviet Union and its secret moon program.
Between 1959 and 1976, the Soviets sent an impressive armada of probes to the moon, the Luna series. While the Western world was spellbound by the Apollo missions, the USSR was quietly accomplishing technological feats that were ahead of their time. Let's start at the beginning. Luna 1 missed the moon in 1959, but became the first man-made object to leave the Earth-Moon system. Luna 2 then deliberately crashed into the moon's surface, humanity's first direct contact with another celestial body. And Luna 3 delivered the first images of the far side of the moon. What an incredible shot. Just imagine, until then, no human had ever seen the other side of the moon. And what the Soviets discovered was astonishing. A completely different landscape from the more familiar side. Hardly any dark Mars, but crater after crater. The moon literally had two faces. But the real breakthrough came in 1966. Luna 9 then achieved the first soft landing on another celestial body. Finally, it was possible to see the moon's surface up close. Many scientists had feared that the moon consisted of deep dust in which any probe would sink. Luna 9 proved the opposite. Although the moon is covered with lunar dust known as regolith, the surface is still firm enough to allow landings, and the images that were sent back, 5 black and white stereoscopic panoramas, were sensational. Every rock and every bump could be seen. The Soviets had made the moon tangible for humanity. Just a few months later, in March 1966, the next coup followed. Luna 10 became the moon's first artificial satellite. From up there, it mapped the gravitational field, measured radiation, and examined the chemical composition. Step by step, the Soviets built up a complete scientific picture of the moon, while NASA was still tinkering with Apollo.
But now things are getting really exciting. In November 1970, Luna 17 landed on the moon and rolled down a ramp. What appeared then looked like science fiction.
Lunokhod 1, an 8-wheeled robot equipped with solar panels, cameras, and scientific instruments, the first remote-controlled vehicle on another celestial body. In a control room in Crimea, 5 engineers sat and controlled a rover that was rolling across a foreign world 384,000 kilometers away. The signals took 1.3 seconds to travel from Earth to the moon, so every movement had to be precisely planned. One wrong maneuver and Lunokhod could crash into a crater.
And all of this happened in 1970. An incredible technical achievement. And what did Lunokhod 1 see on its journey? Spectacular things.
The rover covered more than 10 kilometers in 322 days, analyzing the soil with an X-ray spectrometer, measuring radiation, and sending back more than 20,000 television images and 206 high-resolution panoramas. Using its penetrometer, a device that pressed into the ground like a mechanical finger, it tested the composition of the lunar dust at 500 different locations. In doing so, it discovered that the regolith is not the same everywhere. In some places it was loose like powdered sugar, in others hard and crusted.
What fascinates me in particular, Lunokhod 1 also carried a laser retroreflector made in France. With this mirror, scientists can still measure the distance between the Earth and the Moon to the centimeter today. Yes, and I do mean to this day.
In 2010, almost 40 years after the mission began, NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter found Lunokhod 1 again, and researchers were able to target the retroreflector once more. So the little Soviet rover is still working for science. In January 1973, the even more advanced Lunokhod 2 followed with Luna 21. And this rover was a real beast. It rolled across the moon for 4 months, covering 42 kilometers and sending back over 80,000 images. By comparison, the American Mars rovers Spirit and Opportunity had covered a total of just 21 kilometers after 5 years. Lunokhod 2 held the record for the longest distance traveled on another celestial body until 2014.
But the true masterpiece was yet to come. The Soviets managed to bring moon rocks back to Earth, fully automatically.
In September 1970, Luna 16 drilled into the surface, collected 101 grams of lunar dust, launched a small return capsule, and landed safely in Kazakhstan. No astronaut needed. Luna 23 and Luna 24 followed, bringing a total of 301 grams of lunar material back to Earth. NASA astronauts collected much more, but the Soviet missions proved that the moon could be explored entirely by robots. The Soviets lost the race to put a man on the moon. Their N-1 rocket exploded spectacularly 4 times, but they won something else. They laid the foundation for modern robotic planetary exploration. Without the Luna program, there might be no Mars rovers, no sample return missions, and no autonomous landing vehicles today. The Soviet vision of machines instead of humans is back in vogue today and may well be the future of space travel. What particularly impresses me is that Soviet engineers had to work with the little they had. Their computers were primitive by today's standards, and their budgets were limited. And yet they created rovers that survived numerous lunar nights at temperatures of minus 170 degrees Celsius. They developed special lubricants that worked in a vacuum, engines in pressure-tight containers, and solar panels that folded into a protective cover at night. Under this cover, a radioactive polonium-210 heater kept the sensitive electronics warm. Ingenious.
And by the way, a funny side note, in the Soviet Union, a rumor spread that Lunokhod was being operated by a KGB dwarf sitting inside the thing. Of course, that's complete nonsense, but it shows just how incredible this technology seemed at the time. A remote-controlled robot on the moon? That sounded impossible to many people back then. The story has a sad twist. A third Lunokhod was built. Lunokhod 3 was supposed to launch in 1977, but the money ran out, political support faded, and the rover never flew. Today it stands in a museum, a silent witness to what could have been. But the legacy lives on. The Lunokhod technology was even adapted later for the cleanup operations in Chernobyl.
In 1986, after the disaster, the old Lunokhod engineers built radiation-resistant rovers within 2 weeks to clear radioactive debris from the reactor roof. Moon technology saved lives on Earth, moon rover technology for working in a nuclear exclusion zone. Sometimes reality is truly more amazing than any sci-fi novel could ever be, right? So what did the Soviets see on the moon? They saw a world of possibilities. They saw that machines could succeed where human lives would otherwise be at risk. And they saw the path to a future that we are only just beginning to realize.
If you want to stay informed about fascinating stories like this in the future, don't forget to subscribe to the channel now and give us a thumbs up so we can reach 5,000 likes.
And speaking of mysterious discoveries, researchers have found something incredible under the Sahara that finally brings the truth about the mysterious Richa structure to light. The so-called Eye of the Sahara. What lies there is spectacular. Click on the video in the top right corner. You have to watch it. As always, you'll find another video about science and space in the bottom right corner. Otherwise, I'd say see you in the next video. Take care, folks.